How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I think she would be sad. I think she'd be looking at it long term to know that there are certain things that we need to go through to be able to heal the relationship. I have felt the presence of my mum more so in the last 2 years than I have in the last 30.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle thought they could outrun the chaos of the crown, but that dream is cracking fast. What started as whispers has now turned into a full-blown storm after royal biographer Tom Bower dropped one of his wildest bombshells yet, claiming that questions around Archie and Lilibet's real parentage might not be just internet gossip anymore. The talk about surrogacy, hidden truths, and royal secrets has people spinning. DNA rumors are blowing up across social media, and the palace's silence is only making it worse. Now everyone's wondering, who are Harry and Meghan's kids really? This isn't some small scandal about drama with William or Netflix money. This time it's about bloodline, the one thing that defines the royal family. And if Bower's claims hold even a shred of truth, it could shake the monarchy to its core. For years, people have been side-eyeing Meghan's pregnancy photos and questioning how every single detail of their story always felt staged. Remember those perfect baby bump pictures, the mysterious timelines that never matched up, and how there were no hospital photos or public announcements like royal tradition demands? It all looked too clean, too controlled. And now that these coincidences are stacking up, people are starting to connect the dots, saying maybe the truth's been hiding in plain sight. Meghan and Harry swore they'd protect their children from the spotlight, but it's those same kids that are now pulling the spotlight right back on them. The couple's silence is screaming louder than any statement could. Harry's been pacing around their Montecito mansion like a man losing his mind, reportedly snapping at staff, glued to headlines, and falling apart under the weight of constant whispers. This is the same man who once told the world about his mental health journey, the same one who stood for emotional awareness, and now he can't even escape his own anxiety.
He's not very intelligent and undoubtedly remains damaged by the early death of his mother, Diana. And he very foolishly blames the media for her, in his words, which is complete nonsense. But I think he loved the adulation. He loved it when he was being praised, especially when he was a soldier. But then he became criticized, firstly because he became drunk in public.
Tom, do you think Harry and Meghan are fast learning what they signed away when they took this Netflix big moolah? And I would say they signed away their credibility and their dignity.
Well, that's our view, but it's not theirs. They need the money, and they need it now more than ever because they've got no other source of income. So I think they're just stuck with the devil now. They're tied to Netflix, they're tied to their book, and all the criticism they're going to take means nothing because that's the only way they can earn their money.
No, I choose people who don't want to be written about on the whole, whose lives are shrouded in mystery, and they want to hide their secrets. And I just love digging away to find out what they don't want us to know. Had you hoped your children, Archie and Lilibet, would have had that you think they won't be able to now with this decision?
Well, for a start, the only time that I've come back to the UK is sadly for funerals or court cases.
Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is marking her daughter Lilibet's 4th birthday by sharing some personal photographs. A rare sighting of a little girl seen in this picture with her father, Prince Harry, and now her mom. The child's face is partially covered as the royal couple is known to fiercely guard the privacy of their 2 children. On Instagram, Meghan wrote, "Happy birthday to our beautiful girl. 4 years ago today, she came into our lives, and the day is brighter and better because of it."
It's tragic and ironic all at once. Meanwhile, Meghan's handling things differently. No breakdowns, no crying in public, just straight business mode. Lawyers on call, cease and desist letters flying left and right, and endless threats to shut down the noise. But that's the problem. Every time she pushes legally, the noise just gets louder. It's like trying to put out a wildfire with gasoline. People see her silence as guilt, not dignity. They're not buying the PR act anymore. When your whole image is built on honesty and healing, but you refuse to clear up something this major, the trust breaks. Critics say the couple had every chance to set the record straight years ago. One statement, one photo, one piece of proof, and all of this would have died down. But instead, they doubled down on mystery, and that secrecy is now backfiring hard. Even loyal supporters are starting to say, if there's nothing to hide, why not prove it? The calls for a DNA test are getting louder by the day, and the whole internet's watching to see if Harry and Meghan crack or keep dodging. And then there's the royal family, totally silent. No comments from King Charles, no photos of the kids with the grandparents, not even birthday shout-outs like they always give to William and Kate's children. Nothing. The contrast is wild. William and Kate's kids are out there smiling in family portraits with the king, while Archie and Lilibet seem like ghosts in royal circles. That distance isn't random, it means something. Some say it's punishment for Meghan and Harry's public rebellion. Others think it's protection, the palace keeping its distance just in case this story blows up bigger than expected. And now, that silence from Buckingham Palace is starting to sound like they already know more than they're saying. People are whispering that maybe this separation was planned all along to protect the crown if the truth ever came out. That's not just scandal, that's strategic silence. Tom Bower's not just some random gossip writer chasing clicks either. The man's been right before. He's the same guy who exposed real royal drama that later proved true. So when he talks, the press listens. His latest claims are fueling the wildest royal theory in years, that maybe, just maybe, Harry and Meghan's perfect family image isn't as real as they want the world to believe. And if even part of that turns out to be true, it doesn't just ruin their reputation. It could change royal history.
Thank you.
Hello, Mom. Breakfast time. Go. Sitting for the cameras, aren't you? You're sitting for the cameras. Hello.
The British monarchy thrives on bloodlines and legacy. That's its foundation. So if questions about legitimacy come up, it's not just about family anymore, it's about the system itself. That's why this scandal isn't just another celebrity rumor. It's a political earthquake waiting to hit. Right now, Harry looks like a man trapped between love and legacy. You can feel the pressure building. Friends from his army days say he's restless, lashing out and losing sleep. Inside sources from Montecito claim he's become obsessed, scrolling through gossip forums, analyzing every photo, trying to find proof that nothing's wrong. But the more he digs, the more it eats him alive. His whole identity as a husband, a father, and a man who left the royal life for peace is now being ripped apart by doubt. Imagine that pain. It's not just his image getting dragged, it's his soul. And for Meghan, every move she makes to protect their story seems to explode in her face. So now the whole world's watching this royal disaster play out like a real-life soap opera. Meghan and Harry once built their empire on transparency, saying they were breaking cycles and healing trauma. But now, that same message feels hollow when their silence is louder than truth. The more they hide, the more the internet digs. Every photo, every timeline, every interview is being reanalyzed under a microscope, and if they keep dodging the DNA question, this could end up being the scandal that follows them forever.
For the time being, it's impossible for me to take my family back to the UK safely.
You're obviously very deeply affected by this. What memories, experiences had you hoped your children, Archie and Lilibet, would have had that think they won't be able to now with this decision?
The fairy tale is cracking, the image is fading, and the world's left asking the one question Harry and Meghan won't answer. Who really are Archie and Lilibet? The tension inside that Montecito mansion is hitting a breaking point. Insiders say it's no longer peaceful. It's chaos behind those perfectly painted walls. Harry's reportedly pacing nonstop, scrolling through every article, every tweet, every post mentioning his kids. He's losing sleep, snapping at people around him, and drowning in his thoughts. It's wild when you think about it. The same man who once stood up for mental health now looks like he's spiraling into the very darkness he warned others about. The stress is written all over him. Friends say he stopped trusting people, started second-guessing every word coming from Meghan's team, and barely talks to his old royal circle. The world that once admired the rebel prince now sees a man breaking apart.
What about the security arrangements that were in place made you feel it would be unsafe for you and your family?
There's only so much that I can say because of the redaction process and the national security matters at hand, but everything. Because in beginning of 2020, I was scored the highest as far as risk was concerned, and then overnight I was reduced to the lowest without actually going through the risk management board.
Unsure of who to believe, the press, his wife, or himself. Meanwhile, Meghan's playing her cards in a colder, sharper way. She's not showing cracks, not crying on camera, just lawyered up and in full defense mode. Every rumor, every post, every video, her legal team sending letters like clockwork. Cease and desist here, lawsuit threat there. It's all about control. But here's the crazy part. It's backfiring. The more she pushes legally, the more people think there's something real behind the smoke. Instead of quieting the noise, she's turned it into a full-blown roar. Viewers online are saying the same thing. If there's nothing to hide, why act like there is? That's the public's mindset now. Doubt. The legal silence doesn't look classy anymore, it looks calculated. Meghan's trying to fight perception with paperwork, but perception's already winning.
I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. And the things that they're going to miss is, well, everything. You know, I love my country. I always have done, despite what some people in that country have done. So, you know, I miss the UK. I miss parts of the UK. Of course I do.
That the conversation, I'm told and I believe, was very early on in their relationship when Harry is bowled over by Meghan, is desperately in love, and already is talking about marriage, but long before their engagement is even announced, let alone they're married and she's pregnant. And he's sitting in Clarence's house with then Prince Charles and Camilla. And Camilla just laughingly says, well, any child you'll have will probably have brown skin and ginger hair.
The Queen and the Duke.
Yes, and we just bumped into the Duke as we were walking by, which was so nice. So it'll be a nice moment to introduce the baby to more family, and my mom's with us as well. So it's been a really, here we go.
another great grandchild.
Now, let's talk about the royal family's role in this mess. The palace hasn't said a single word, not one. No press release, no subtle photo ops, nothing that even hints at support for Harry and Meghan. When Archie had a birthday, the palace account didn't even post the usual polite happy birthday message. Compare that to the constant photos and love shown toward William and Kate's kids. It's night and day. That silence feels strategic. Some believe King Charles and his advisors already know more than they're saying. Others think it's damage control, the crown staying distant so it can't be blamed later. Either way, it's cold. That lack of warmth toward Harry's family screams louder than any denial could. People notice things like that. The world's not blind. The difference between the two royal families is so clear it's become impossible to ignore. Then there's the rumor that this distance isn't punishment, it's protection. Think about it. If the palace suspected something off years ago, maybe they quietly pulled back to protect the crown's image. They might have known this day would come, when the rumors would explode publicly. By keeping Harry's kids at a distance, the monarchy could shield itself from the fallout. And now, with Tom Bower dragging everything into the open, the royal family might just be sitting tight, waiting for the truth to reveal itself. Because if they've known all along that something's not right, that's not gossip anymore, that's crisis management. This could be the biggest royal scandal since Princess Diana's era. And maybe even bigger because this time, it's about the bloodline. It's crazy how fast this all turned from a rumor into a global obsession.
And that's why I think, I think Tina is a great journalist, and perhaps she has inside information. I don't see how the Sussexes can give up both the Netflix and the book deal. They won't be living in a Montecito cottage. They're more likely living somewhere in downtown LA, in a little hovel. That's their problem. They're stuck now. But, you know, the truth is about them.
Then he wore a Nazi uniform at a party. Then he was wearing absolutely nothing in the nude at the party in Las Vegas. And he couldn't cope with the criticism because, in his view, he is a target. And it didn't help that his telephones were hacked by News International, Rupert Murdoch's group here in London.
What started as quiet whispers on forums is now front-page news, talk show debates, and millions of comments online. People are literally analyzing photos frame by frame, comparing Meghan's bump sizes, timelines, and hospital statements. Every little inconsistency is now evidence to someone. The conversation isn't dying down, it's exploding. And the louder the internet gets, the quieter Harry and Meghan become. That silence has become its own statement, and not a good one. Even their closest supporters are beginning to waver, wondering why they won't just clear the air once and for all. From a PR standpoint, this is a disaster. Their whole brand, the modern royal family, built on openness, honesty, and breaking tradition, is collapsing. Their Netflix specials, their interviews, their speeches about transparency now look like just another performance. The mansion in sunny California, the perfect Instagram posts, the polished smiles, all of it's being rewatched through a darker lens now. And the public's not fooled. People want realness, not rehearsed fairy tales. The moment the truth feels missing, the love disappears. And that's exactly what's happening. Fans who once cheered them on for escaping the palace are now questioning if they ever escaped at all, or if they just built a new kind of stage. And poor Harry, he's the one paying the biggest price. His whole redemption story was built on fatherhood. He said being a dad saved him, that his children gave him purpose after leaving the crown behind. But now, that same story is being ripped to pieces by the idea that maybe those kids aren't biologically his. That kind of rumor cuts deep. It's not just attacking his image, it's attacking his identity as a man, a husband, and a father. Every insult online must sting like fire.
No, I choose people who don't want to be written about, on the whole, whose lives are shrouded in mystery, and they want to hide their secrets, and I just love digging away to find out what they don't want us to know. I wrote 4 years ago a book about Prince Charles, and it was a story about how he had rehabilitated himself after Diana's death, and how Camilla also had to be rehabilitated, and it was a #1. It was a fascinating story. So when Meghan came along into the scene, I just thought, this is fascinating. How is this going to play out? To tell the truth, I spoke to very few friends of Meghan because she put a fatwa on anyone talking to me who she could. So I sent off dozens and dozens of emails to her friends, and most of them didn't even reply. And obviously I spoke to her father, who loves her still very much, and said, in the end, whatever she is, she's still my daughter. You can't beat the real story. I mean, that's the excitement of writing these sort of books, that in the end, nothing beats the truth, the real fact.
Imagine waking up to headlines questioning whether your kids are even yours. That's beyond cruel, but it's also the reality he's facing right now. And that's what makes this whole mess so tragic. Harry, the same boy who once walked behind Diana's coffin, who carried the world's sympathy and strength, is now seen as weak, lost, or worse, complicit. Either he's a victim in Meghan's game, or he's an accomplice in what people are calling a royal-level deception. Both stories make him look powerless. The man who wanted freedom from the monarchy now looks trapped in a web of his own making. It's a fall from grace like we've never seen before. Behind the scenes, sources say Harry's paranoia is through the roof. He's scanning old interviews, rewatching their docuseries, trying to find proof that can silence the doubters. But every attempt just makes him look more desperate. People close to him say he's not sleeping, barely eating, and constantly fighting with Meghan about how to handle it. The walls of that California mansion might look perfect, but inside, it's pure pressure. Meanwhile, Meghan's keeping her cool. At least on the outside. She's sticking to her game plan. Control, deflect, and protect the brand. Reports say her legal team is drafting multiple lawsuits just in case the rumors cross the line. But even if she wins those cases, the damage is already done. Lawsuits can't erase suspicion, and in the age of the internet, suspicion spreads faster than truth. It's like watching a fairy tale unravel in slow motion. Every silence, every non-answer, every polished photo, it's all feeding the fire. The Sussex image, once shiny and untouchable, is cracking right in front of the world's eyes. The deeper this story goes, the darker it gets.
Well, that's our view, but it's not theirs. They need the money, and they need it now more than ever because they've got no other source of income. So I think they're just stuck with the devil now. They're tied to Netflix, they're tied to their book, and all the criticism they're going to take means nothing because that's the only way they can earn their money.
The pressure around Harry and Meghan isn't just about gossip anymore. It's turning into a full-blown royal crisis. The British press is circling like sharks, and even international outlets that once treated the couple as victims are now picking apart every word, every silence, every detail. This isn't a rumor from a small blog anymore. It's a worldwide debate about truth and legitimacy. The question haunting everyone is simple but deadly. Will Harry and Meghan agree to a DNA test? What started as whispers on forums has now become a trending topic across continents. News anchors, talk show hosts, and royal experts are all asking the same thing. If you got nothing to hide, why not just prove it? Every second of their silence feels like confirmation to some people, and that's the real damage. Perception becomes reality.
It's wild to think how easily this could have been stopped. If Meghan or Harry had stepped up early on, released some clarity, even a calm, confident statement, it could have ended right there. But instead, they've doubled down on silence, letting speculation grow until it turned into a monster. That's what people don't understand.
You have extraordinary reporting in your book on what this was likely based on and how it doesn't match up to what Meghan said. Here's the clip, SOT 6, from the Oprah interview.
When you live off public attention, you can't suddenly go quiet when the spotlight turns ugly. The silence doesn't protect you, it destroys you. Every day they refuse to address it, the fire gets bigger, and now it's burning their image down completely. Their brand, that perfect mix of royal glam and California freedom, is being ripped apart. Once they were the voice of transparency, now they're being called the face of contradiction. The same couple that preached authenticity is being accused of hiding the truth, and that's why the public's losing sympathy fast. What's worse is that the damage might already be too deep to fix. People close to Harry say he's not the same anymore. Distant, moody, snapping between anger and silence. His friends from the army days have reportedly cut ties, saying he's unpredictable and constantly anxious. He's become so wrapped up in the scandal that he's lost sight of who he is.
Well, of course, that was brilliant of you to bring that clip up, because the body language just showed her discomfort as she dug deeper into her own hole. I mean, the truth is this, that there are two truths. The first truth is that the conversation, I'm told and I believe, was very early on in their relationship when Harry is bowled over by Meghan, is desperately in love, and already is talking about marriage.
For someone who left the royal family to find peace, this is the opposite of peace. It's like the man's at war with himself, trying to defend his wife while questioning everything around him. Imagine carrying that kind of confusion day after day. Insiders say even the staff at their mansion are walking on eggshells because one wrong move could set him off. The prince, who once represented resilience, now looks defeated, caught between the life he left and the truth he can't escape. Meghan, though, is still playing her game her way, cool, strategic, and relentless. She's firing off letters, calling up PR teams, spinning the story wherever she can, but people can feel the shift. The charm that once made her seem like a strong, modern woman now feels calculated to some. Viewers online are saying her every move feels scripted, like a performance built to protect the brand, not the truth. And that's the one thing people hate most: fakeness. You can't sell yourself as a symbol of honesty and then hide behind lawyers when honesty gets tested.
And that's why I think, I think Tina is a great journalist, and perhaps she has inside information. I don't see how the Sussexes can give up both the Netflix and the book deal. They won't be living in a Montecito cottage, be more likely living somewhere in downtown LA.
Even those who once defended her are now saying it's time to stop the silence and face it head on. Because when you ignore the world too long, the world decides the truth for you. And while all this plays out, the palace remains as silent as a grave. No statements, no subtle signals, no defense, nothing. It's like they've washed their hands of the whole mess. But behind the scenes, royal insiders are whispering about panic meetings and strategy calls. Allegedly, King Charles's advisors are having private talks about succession clarity and legal implications. That means this isn't just about family drama anymore. This touches the core of the monarchy structure. If there's any chance that Archie and Lilibet's status doesn't fit traditional royal requirements, that could shake the entire foundation of the crown. Even if the rumors are false, the fact that they're being discussed this seriously shows just how unstable this situation has become. The monarchy survives on legacy and lineage. Once that's questioned, everything else crumbles. Now the world's watching, waiting for one defining moment. Will Harry and Meghan take that test or not?
because that's what this has all come down to. One simple choice. One DNA test could end all of it. The rumors, the doubts, the chaos, but refusing it keeps the story alive forever. It's a lose-lose situation. Take it and risk exposing something, or refuse it and look guilty.
And already is talking about marriage, but long before their engagement is even announced, let alone they're married and she's pregnant. And he's sitting in Clarence's house with then Prince Charles and Camilla. And Camilla just laughingly says, well, any child you'll have will probably have brown skin and ginger hair. And they all laugh, including Harry. I mean, not because of racism, it's just one of those things everybody imagines. When somebody is pregnant close to you, you wonder what the child will look like. But it was not said as anything other than
like a concern. That's what Meghan
No,
claimed,
not
that
a
it was
concern.
as
It was
a
just a
concern about how
passing.
dark the baby would be.
Either way, their fairy tale image is shattered. The royal rebels who once said they wanted freedom and truth are now prisoners of their own secrecy. The crown doesn't even need to say a word. Time and silence are doing the damage for them. The saddest part is what this means for Harry personally. His whole identity, the rebel prince who left for love, who stood for family over institution. It's all slipping through his fingers. The boy who once made the world cry walking behind his mother's coffin is now the man the world can't recognize. Every rumor, every headline, every doubt chips away at the person he tried to become. And no matter how much Meghan fights with lawyers or how many glossy photos they post, the public can feel when something's off. You can't Photoshop truth. Even people who don't care about the monarchy are drawn to this because it feels like watching history repeat itself. Another royal downfall, another family breaking under secrets. The only difference is this time, the power's not in Buckingham Palace, it's in the hands of the internet. Millions of people online are dissecting every move in real time, and once the crowd turns, there's no going back. Silence used to be dignity, now it's guilt.
Meghan, can you tell us what it's like becoming a new mum and tell us a little bit about baby Sussex, as we're calling him?
It's magic. It's pretty amazing, and I mean, I have the two best guys in the world, so I'm really happy.
Tell us a little bit about your son. What's he like? Is he sleeping well? Good baby?
Yes, he has the sweetest temperament. He's really calm.
And that's the painful irony. Meghan and Harry built their empire on the promise of honesty and freedom. They walked away from royalty to escape control, but now they're trapped in a scandal of their own making. Whether the rumors are true or not, the mystery alone is enough to stain their legacy. They've reached the point where even telling the truth might not fix the damage, but lying or hiding will destroy it completely. The fairy tale is cracking, the mask is slipping, and the story that once inspired millions now looks like it's falling apart. So here we are. The Sussex dream turned into the Sussex storm. The world's not asking about palace feuds or Netflix deals anymore. It's asking one haunting question: who are Archie and Lilibet really? And until Harry and Meghan answer that, this controversy isn't going anywhere. It'll follow them through every interview, every photo, every step they take. Because some secrets don't fade, they echo. And this one, it's shaking the crown itself.